Coming up on Quad Cities today, the latest update on those missing in the partial collapse of the apartment building in downtown Davenport. Plus, the debt ceiling deal passed in the Senate. Coming up, details on when the bill is expected to be signed by President Biden. Quad Cities Today weekend starts now.
Live from the KWQC studio, this is Quad Cities Today.
New video from TV6 overnight shows part of the collapsed building tumbling to the ground as recovery crews deconstruct part of the building to continue their search. You can see as debris hit the ground, a plume of dust was sent into the air. We will have the latest on the partial building collapse coming up in just a moment. Some dramatic video there. Firefighters warning some of the people looking onto the rubble to kind of move away from that potential falling debris. So much more on that coming up. Thanks so much for joining us here for Quad Cities Today weekend. I'm Kyle Kiel.
And I'm Teresa Bryant. And looks like we're going to see another very, very warm day. A big stretch of unseasonably warm weather.
And you know, it's just right on time for meteorological summer, which started at the beginning of June. But you know, it was nice. I was one of the lucky ones where my yard got some much needed rainfall yesterday.
I hear a lot of folks did. But we are going to see further rain chances across our region this weekend. Sizzling heat and humidity, though, the main focus, and that's going to continue across much of our viewing area. Right now, we're looking at clear skies over the Quad Cities area, 63 degrees with light winds, 68 now in Dubuque, 63 in Clinton, 64 degrees in Princeton, already at 70 degrees in Muscatine, 68 in Burlington, and 63 in Ottumwa. Winds moving out of the east and northeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And right now, looking at mostly clear skies, a few high clouds out there to the north. Otherwise, looks like we're going to continue to see sunshine throughout much of the day, although later on this afternoon there's a slight chance we could see a few sprinkles, maybe a passing shower or two in the northern portions of our viewing area. Temperatures are going to remain very warm today. We're looking at highs reaching 94 degrees.
He was cleaning up in the back parking lot and said that the wall is bulging out. Someone is there working on it and told him to get out of the way because it's not looking good.
This morning, explosive new audio from 911 call made last Saturday, one day before part of the Davenport building collapsed. 3 people who officials believe were in the building, Brandon Colvin, Ryan Hitchcock, and Daniel Prian, have still not been found. Meantime, family members of the missing have been on site looking for any information on their missing loved ones. Iowa Task Force 1 is working the site in what Davenport city leaders are calling the recovery phase, digging through what remains of the rubble. And among the crowd of people who have stopped to look at the collapsed apartments are people who once called it home. TV6's Evan Denton spoke with former tenants of the Davenport and has their reaction of the collapse and all that's transpired over the last week.
Hard to hear the news and not know that everybody is okay. Yeah, it just kind of shakes you.
Former tenants of the Davenport, Mia Lugo and James Champion, are reflecting on their time inside of the now partially collapsed apartment complex.
My apartment was one of the ones that collapsed. It actually, like the floor tilted slightly down towards this parking lot, and so if you set something down, like it would roll a little bit. I'd walk up all the 5 flights, up and down every day. People's dogs went to the bathroom everywhere. Nobody cleaned it up no matter how many times you called the landlords. They didn't care about the pee in the elevators. The place was just really filthy.
James Champion says he kept having a feeling that the apartment was going to collapse.
A ceiling that was like brown, you know, from a water leak, and then it started leaking on my floor. And I'm like, this isn't okay. So I contacted the maintenance guys. They're like, oh, we'll get it fixed, we'll get it fixed. You know, it's just something small, we'll get it fixed. And they never came up and tried to fix anything.
Both Lugo and Champion moved out long before the Davenport collapsed.
Just wish that they accelerated the search more. If those people were going to be rescued, you know, we need to help them. You know, I had the neighbor living directly next to me is Brandon, who they're still looking for, so it's just heartbreaking.
They need to pay everybody for what the damages are done. They need to pay everybody to rehome, reestablish themselves, get them what they deserve, replace everything.
That was TV6's Evan Denton reporting. Help for the residents impacted by the disaster has been pouring in. The Quad Cities Community Foundation says some 250 people and businesses have already donated to the Donations Disaster Fund. Because of that generosity, the foundation is already offering $80,000 in emergency grants to help those residents. The money will be used to issue Visa gift cards and cell phones to those impacted. Happening today, former residents of the Davenport can also get help at the downtown YMCA. From 10 a.m. until 4 p.m., a number of agencies will be on hand to help residents who have been displaced. They include the DMV, the American Red Cross, and Iowa Legal Aid, among others. There will be vouchers for Goodwill, along with help replacing things like IDs and Social Security cards. Again, that's from 10 until 4 at the downtown Davenport YMCA. Of course, this is a continuing developing story. You can keep up with the latest updates on air, online at KWQC.com, and on our news app. We'll also keep you updated on our social media platforms.